I promise I won't take too much of your time today. It's just that last week we made a video for No Banlist Modern with Gabriel Nassif. Just gonna throw that out there. And he said,
I just made my my Murktide deck much forced by trying to fit in Splinter Twin combo in it.
And that stuck in my head, kind of the way that the Baby Shark song does sometimes, because I could not stop thinking about the fact that we're in a world where we have a 3-mana card that you play with Flash into a 4-mana card, you win the game on the spot, and people would still rather just play Ragavan. So I scoured the web for other 2-card combos, trying to look for a better one, and at least to not waste my time, I'm presenting you guys with the top 5 of the best 2-card combos in Magic that I could find. Spoiler alert, Splinter Twin is still number 5, and who knows, these are 2-card combos that you can maybe throw into your commander deck if you're one of those commander people with large shuffling hands. But before we get into this, please, we are getting so close to our 20 sub goal, and as it's looming there, I don't get to sleep until we reach 20k, and please, I'm so tired. So if you do enjoy the content and want to show my boss that we're making you happy, please click that sub button. If you're not already subbed, the only thing you pay in there is sometimes you get Toral Severin scrolling down in your feed telling you random Magic facts. It can't be that bad. But now it's time for the combos. Combo number 1, as foretold, is Splinter Twin and Deceiver Exarch. Now, as I said, this one is a 7-mana investment. So on turn 3, this is bar any ramp or any other shenanigans in a void. This is 3 mana on turn 3 and then 4 mana on turn 4 to win the game. What you do is you play a flash creature, doesn't need to have flash, it just helps that when it enters the battlefield, it untaps or taps a permanent. Then you enchant it with Splinter Twin. Splinter Twin lets your creature tap and create a copy of itself. Now, when Deceiver Exarch enters the battlefield, you get to untap another permanent. Luckily, you have a really good target for that in play. You have your Deceiver Exarch that now can tap to create a copy of itself. So you do that, you make another Deceiver Exarch come into play. It'll untap your Deceiver Exarch with Splinter Twin, which will tap and create another of itself. If you do this for a very, very long time, you can make up to any number of Deceiver Exarchs or Pester Mites as you wish, and then you attack for infinite damage. Now in a void, you can combo as quickly as turn 4, but this deck was banned in Modern specifically because the blue-red colors let you also play permission and removal spells and kind of play a tempo game and just combo off, so people always had to keep mana up. Thing is, this 2-card combo is not as good as it was anymore. Even if you play Kiki Jiki for redundancy and have a flash-based game plan, removal and permission is just good enough that this is not as reliable, and you'd usually just want to play cheaper threats. 4 mana for an enchantment is not 2022 fair. But if you know this channel already, you are fed up of hearing about Splinter Twin. So let's move to number 4. Voltaic Key and Time Vault, or Manifold Key if you have a keychain. Although you have a lot of redundancy with getting the keys with Urza's Saga, acquiring the key is not the issue here. Time Vault is not only banned in every format and restricted in Vintage, but the cheapest one I could possibly find on Cardmarket was 650 euro, and it's horribly mangled. So it's basically banned from my wallet. Now, Splinter Twin costs 7 mana and would combo on turn 4, while this one costs 4 mana investment, and you can combo as early as turn 3. That's already quite a bit better. You basically play your Voltaic Key on turn 1, then play your Time Vault on turn 2, and then on turn 3, you untap Time Vault with the Voltaic Key, permitting you to tap Time Vault to then gain an extra turn. On your extra turn, you untap Time Vault with Voltaic Key and then tap Time Vault to get an extra turn. Now, you see what this is doing here. Even if you don't have much going on, basically locking your opponent outside of the game gives you any chance to win. Everyone wins eventually at Solitaire. And although this combo suffers very greatly to artifact removal, if you play it in a deck that's happy to play Manifold Key anyways, like the Vintage Paradoxical Outcome deck in Vintage, it's such a low opportunity cost, why not? You can just randomly win the game sometimes. But now let's talk about a combo you don't have to sell your card for. Now a 2-card combo, which basically feels like a 1-card combo because you only have to resolve 1 spell, is Oath of Druids and Forbidden Orchard. This one is only a 2 mana investment and you can combo off as early as turn 3. The way you win is on turn 2, you cast a Oath of Druids, tapping your Forbidden Orchard, putting a 1/1 into play in your opponent's side of the board. On your upkeep, when you untap Oath of Druid triggers, you usually go get a Progenitus because it has protection from everything, and then you win in a few turns because we're operating under the assumption that your opponent can't deal with a 10/10 protection from everything. This also happens to be my favorite way of getting uninvited from casual playgroups because you can assemble this whole deck for under 30 euros on Cardmarket. Now this deck is awesome, but it's only number 3 because it does suffer to Edict effects. Your whole game plan, if they cast Edict and then Liliana, your second creature in your deck, You gave them 1/1s. Now this brings us to number 2 on our list. There's still one after this, but this one's quite good. So much it's played still in Legacy. It's the Grindstone and Painter's Servant combo. Yeah, sure, it's a total mana investment of 6, but it's pretty resilient and you combo as early as turn 3. It's played in decks like a Legacy Goblin Wielder. The way you win with this deck is on turn 1, you play your Grindstone. It has an ability, we'll get to that on turn 3. Then you play your Painter's Servant on turn 2. You pick a color, whatever color, it doesn't matter. You can pick black, you can pick red. What matters is that every single card in your opponent's deck, including lands, now have all the same color. Now on turn 3, you untap, you tap 3 for your Grindstone. What that does is you mill the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck. If they share a color, which now they all do, you repeat this effect. So you mill your opponent completely on turn 3, and then when they go to draw, they lose the game. Because in Magic the Gathering, if you have no more cards in your deck when you go to draw, you lose. This combo does make you understand why Splinter Twin isn't as good anymore when you can just win so quickly, so early. Also, once again, Splinter Twin doesn't get fetched by Urza's Saga, and as we know now, Urza's Saga goes on everything. It's like pepper. Maybe pepper doesn't go on cake. Anyways, let's get to my favorite combo. Number 1. Thespian Stage and Dark Depths. This one takes a total mana investment of 3, and in a void, you can combo as early as turn 3. But what makes this combo so cool is that it's uncounterable, and most removal can't deal with it. And it is played today. It's played in the Legacy Lands deck, for example. If you want to see me play against Andrea Mengucci with this deck, you can follow, I'll put a note here. Now, the way this combo works is you play a Dark Depths. It enters a battlefield with an insurmountable amount of ice counters. Now, this combo only really works on turn 3 if you have an Urborg in play, but if not, on turn 4, you play a Thespian Stage, you tap it and tap 2 to copy your Dark Depths. You can do this instant speed at the end of your turn. No one can stop you. What your Thespian Stage does is it copies another land on the battlefield. You copy Dark Depths. Now you have 2 Dark Depths. They're legendary. What a silly you are. You have 2. What are you gonna do with 2 Dark Depths? You sacrifice the one with the insurmountable amount of ice counters. Now your Thespian Stage is a Dark Depths with no ice counters on it. But if you read Dark Depths, when it has no ice counters on it, you sacrifice it, you make a 20/20 indestructible flying Marit Lage token. Now it's legendary, so don't make 2, but you just can attack them once with it. Most opponents usually have 20 life, and then you win the game. They could have a Solitude or a Path to Exile, but this combo didn't cost you any spells, so you can usually maybe untap with a counterspell or have a Force of Will in your hand. It's very powerful. Now, I'll still place this combo as number 1 because it doesn't require you to cast any spells. Once again, it costs you 2 land drops. You want to make your land drops anyways. It's very strong. You can also throw in Vampire Hexmage for redundancy, and there's plenty of ways to tutor lands through the history of Magic that make this combo very easy to put into your hand. Anyways, I did promise I wouldn't take that much of your time, so we're done now. Those are 5 combos, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're all great. Follow the link in the description below if you want to look at any of the cards that we just mentioned. And in the meantime, we'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.